She floored it. I was standing on my lawn watching her SUV crush the Snowman like it was nothing. The head rolled off, the carrot snapped in half, and my little kid just stood there with his mouth open. Karen leaned out of the window and yelled, "This is private HOA land! Don't block the driveway again!" I didn't even speak at first. I just looked at the snow, then at what was now showing under it. Karen stepped out of her car, still shouting. "I warned you people! I told you no decorations near the road. I will have you fined, towed, and kicked out of this neighborhood." My son grabbed my jacket and whispered, "Dad." The box. Because under that snowman wasn't just snow. It was a metal case. Karen walked closer, pointing her phone at me. "Smile for the HOA records. You're about to go viral for breaking community rules." I slowly bent down and brushed more snow away. The metal case had a yellow sticker on it. Not HOA, not city, federal. Karen's smile faded for half a second. "What is that?" I stood up and said calmly, "You just destroyed a federal evidence marker." She laughed, loud, fake. "Nice try. You think putting a sticker on a box scares me? I run this block." Then my phone vibrated. One message. "Do not let anyone touch the case. Team is 7 minutes out." Karen was still talking, still filming, still acting like she owned the world, and she had no idea. She had just driven over the only thing protecting her from what was buried underneath. Viral line for this section. She thought she crushed a snowman, but she really just exposed a secret the government buried on my lawn.
The scans confirm it's within 500 meters. Copy, which direction? East, toward the houses. I'll radio the perimeter.
Karen kept laughing, but her eyes kept going back to the metal case. She tried to hide it, but I saw it. That tiny pause. The kind people make when something doesn't feel right. But their ego is too big to admit it. "Move that junk," she said. "You're blocking HOA access. I'm calling the cops right now." She already had her phone up. Not even dialing yet, just talking loud so the neighbors could hear. "This man is hiding suspicious objects on HOA land. He's threatening community safety." I looked around. Curtains were moving. Doors opening. People love drama more than Netflix. I said quietly, "Karen, you might want to step back." She smirked. "Or what? You'll sue me? You people always say that." Then she kicked the metal case with her foot. The sound was not hollow. It was solid, heavy, not something you kick for fun. Her smile finally cracked. "Why is it locked?" My son whispered again. "Dad, they said no one should touch it." She ignored him. "What is this? Drugs? Weapons? Are you running something illegal out of my neighborhood?" "My neighborhood," she said again, louder. I took a breath. "It's not yours," she snapped. "Everything inside these gates is mine. I'm HOA president. I make the rules." She reached down and tried to pull the case. It didn't move. She pulled harder. Still nothing, because it wasn't just sitting there. It was anchored into the ground. Her face changed. "Why is it stuck?" Before I could answer, a police siren came from down the street. Karen's whole mood flipped. She straightened her jacket, wiped her face, and suddenly looked calm and professional. "Good. I already reported you for suspicious activity. Let's see how tough you are now." 2 patrol cars pulled up. Real cops. Not fake. Karen rushed toward them. "Officer, thank God. This man is hiding dangerous materials on HOA property. He's threatening residents and refusing to cooperate." The cop looked at me, then at the metal case, then at my kid. "Sir," he said, "what's going on here?" Before I could speak, Karen jumped in again. "He's lying. He built illegal structures. He blocked emergency access. I demand he be arrested." The cop raised his hand. "Ma'am, one at a time." I said calmly, "Officer, that object is not mine, and it's not HOA property either." Karen laughed. "Then whose is it?" "The Snowman's?" The second cop walked closer to the case. He crouched. "Read the sticker," and his entire body language changed. He stood up fast. "Ma'am," he said to Karen, "step away from that immediately." Karen froze. "Why?" "It's evidence of his crime." The cop shook his head. "No, it's federal." Karen blinked. "Federal what?" "Federal restricted equipment," he said. "And it's active." Her face went pale. "Active? Like, what does that mean?" The cop didn't answer her. He spoke into his radio instead. "Dispatch, we have a confirmed federal asset exposed. Request immediate contact with Homeland." Karen laughed nervously. Okay, this is getting dramatic. You guys believe him? He's just a nobody. The cop looked at her slowly. Ma'am, did you damage this item? She hesitated. Just 1 second too long. I drove over a snowman. That's it. The cop said quietly. That snowman was covering. Each's calm faces. The kind of people who don't need to introduce themselves. The neighbors came out fully now. Phones up, whispers everywhere. Karen smiled again, but it was forced. Oh, great. His friends showed up. One of the people from the SUV walked straight to the cops and quietly showed a badge. The cop's eyes widened just a little. Then he nodded and stepped back. Karen noticed that. Why are you stepping back? She snapped. I called you. Do your job. The man with the badge looked at Karen like she was a child standing in traffic. Ma'am, you need to move away from this area. Right now. She laughed. Or what? You'll arrest me too. You don't even have a uniform. He didn't argue. He just turned to me. Sir, did anyone else touch the vault besides her? I said no, just her car. And her foot. Karen's laugh died. Foot? She repeated. Why do you keep calling it a vault? The man looked at her again. This time slower. Because it's not storage. It's access. Access to what? She said. He didn't answer her. Instead, he tapped his earpiece. Civilian contact confirmed. We're moving to phase 2. Karen suddenly felt the shift in the air. The street went quiet. Even the birds stopped. Phase 2 didn't sound good. She stepped closer to me and whispered, What did you do? I said softly, Nothing. I just bought this house. She stared at me. So? So they didn't tell me what was under it until after I signed the papers. Her eyes went wide. Under it? One of the black SUV doors opened again. 2 more people stepped out carrying cases. Not toolboxes, not weapons, medical kits. Karen saw them and panicked. Why do you need doctors? What is this thing? The man with the badge finally answered her. It's a sealed entry point to an underground facility. She laughed, loud. Oh my God, you're all crazy. He continued calmly. Built during the Cold War, still active, still monitored, and still classified. Her smile froze. You're joking. No. She pointed at me. Then why is he living on it? I said, because the government sold the land and forgot to tell the real estate company. Karen looked like her brain stopped working. So, you're saying there's a bunker under my HOA? The man nodded. Not just a bunker. A live federal site. Karen suddenly got very quiet. Then she said, okay, so I'll just fine the government too. Nobody laughed. She tried again. This is still HOA land. I have authority here. The man with the badge said, You have no authority here. She snapped. She snapped back. That's not how this works. I run this community. I decide what's allowed. The man didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Ma'am, this site predates your HOA by 40 years. Karen scoffed. Then why was it hidden under a snowman? I answered before he could. Because they needed someone living here who wouldn't ask questions. She stared at me. So you're part of this now? I shook my head. No, I'm just the unlucky guy whose backyard sits on top of a door. The government doesn't want opened. Karen took a step back. Then why didn't they move you? The man with the badge said, Because if we moved him, people would notice. She looked around. Half the street was filming. Too late for that. Karen suddenly changed tone, sweet, soft. Okay, so maybe we just call this a misunderstanding. I'll delete the video. We'll forget the fines. I almost smiled. The man said, You already committed multiple federal violations. Her face dropped. For driving over a snowman? No, he said. For tampering with restricted infrastructure. And for impersonating authority earlier. Karen's voice cracked. I didn't know. He replied, Ignorance doesn't remove responsibility. 2 of the agents stepped forward. Not fast, not rough, just final. They took her phone first, then her keys. What are you doing? She yelled. You can't just take my stuff. One agent said, You're being detained for questioning. The neighbors gasped. Karen screamed, This is my neighborhood! You can't do this to me! I looked at her and said quietly, You told me the same thing this morning. She turned to me, eyes burning. You set me up. I shook my head. You ran over my kid's Snowman. That was the moment she realized something. She wasn't special. She wasn't powerful. She was just loud. In the wrong place. As they walked her to the SUV, she shouted one last time, "This isn't over! I'll sue all of you!" The man with the badge replied calmly, "No, it's over for you. You just didn't know it yet." The SUVs drove off. The cops slowly left. The street was silent again. My son looked up at me and said, "So, can I build another snowman?" I smiled. "Yeah, just not over secret government doors." That night, I got one final message. Property reclassified. You now legally own everything above ground. We will handle what's below. I leaned back on my porch and whispered the only thing that felt real. I didn't fight for this country to be told I can't stand on my own lawn.